Today, I want to talk with you about something big, confidence. What is it really? And more importantly, how can we build the kind of confidence that stays with us? Here's the good news. While we talk about confidence, you're also going to improve your English. So whether you're walking, commuting, or just relaxing, stay with me. By the end of this, you'll feel stronger, and your English will too. You know, many people think confidence means being loud or always knowing exactly what to say. Or maybe it means being the center of attention. But I've learned that real confidence isn't loud, it's quiet. It's that inner trust you have in yourself, even when you're nervous or unsure. For example, think of someone who speaks slowly, clearly, and with a smile. That's confidence. They're not rushing. They're not trying to impress. They're just trusting their voice. That's the kind of confidence I want us to grow. Let me ask you again. Have you ever felt like you weren't good enough? Maybe someone didn't understand you when you spoke English. Or maybe you made a mistake at school or work, and suddenly you felt like a failure. I've been there. The truth is, confidence can break, but it can also be rebuilt. Most of the time, what takes our confidence away is fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of looking silly. Fear of not being perfect. But fear doesn't protect us, it holds us back. The first step? Trying anyway, even when you're scared. One of my students once told me, I want to speak perfect English. If I make a mistake, I feel terrible. I asked her, why perfect? She paused and said, because if I'm perfect, no one can judge me. But life doesn't work that way. Nobody's perfect, not even native speakers. Confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from progress. Speak. Make mistakes. Learn. Try again. That's how we grow. You know that little voice in your head? The one that whispers, I can't do this, or I'm not good at English. That voice can be loud, but here's something I've learned. You can talk back. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm bad at this, stop. Replace it with, I'm still learning, and I'm getting better. It sounds simple, but it changes everything. Your thoughts shape your voice. Sometimes we look at others and think, wow, they're so confident. I wish I could be like that. But we don't see their journey. We only see their outside. We compare our struggles to their best moments, and that's not fair to ourselves. Let me ask you again, have you ever felt like you weren't good enough? Maybe someone didn't understand you when you spoke English. Or maybe you made a mistake at school or work, and suddenly you felt like a failure. I've been there. The truth is, confidence can break, but it can also be rebuilt. Most of the time, what takes our confidence away is fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of looking silly. Fear of not being perfect. But fear doesn't protect us, it holds us back. The first step? Trying anyway, even when you're scared. One of my students once told me, I want to speak perfect English. If I make a mistake, I feel terrible. I asked her, why perfect? She paused and said, because if I'm perfect, no one can judge me. But life doesn't work that way. Nobody's perfect, not even native speakers. Confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from progress. Speak. Make mistakes. Learn. Try again. That's how we grow. You know that little voice in your head? The one that whispers, I can't do this, or I'm not good at English. That voice can be loud, but here's something I've learned. You can talk back. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm bad at this, stop. Replace it with, I'm still learning, and I'm getting better. It sounds simple, but it changes everything. Your thoughts shape your voice. Sometimes we look at others and think, wow, they're so confident. I wish I could be like that. But we don't see their journey. We only see their outside. We compare our struggles to their best moments, and that's not fair to ourselves. Confidence doesn't grow from watching others. It grows from looking at your own path and asking, am I better than I was yesterday? That's what really matters. And remember, confidence isn't built in big leaps. It grows in small moments. Every sentence you say in English, even with a shaking voice, is a win. Every time you try is a step forward. Confidence is something you practice. Just like learning English, it gets easier the more you do it. People who seem naturally confident, they've been scared too. But they didn't stop. And neither should you. Start small. Say one sentence out loud. Ask a question. Try a new word. Don't wait to feel ready, act first. Confidence often comes after the action, not before. Have you ever apologized for your English before you even speak? Sorry, my English is not good. I used to do that, but now I don't. Because that apology makes us feel small before we even start. Just speak. No apology needed. You're learning, and that's something to be proud of. Confidence isn't comfort. It's often discomfort. It's your heart beating fast, your hands shaking a little, but still speaking anyway. That's where growth happens. Even your body language helps. Stand tall. Relax your shoulders. Make eye contact. These small changes send a message, not just to others, but to yourself. I belong here. Want more confidence? Prepare. Learn new words. Review topics. Even native speakers prepare. It's not about knowing everything. It's about being ready enough to trust yourself. Here's something I remind myself often. I don't need permission to be confident. I don't need someone else to tell me I'm good enough. And neither do you. You are allowed to take space. You are allowed to speak. You are allowed to shine. Let's stop seeing mistakes as failures. Instead, every mistake is proof you're trying, and that's powerful. Speak more often. You don't need a classroom. Just a few minutes a day. Talk to yourself. Read out loud. Record your voice. It's a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And you know something else? Who you surround yourself with, whether in real life or online, it truly makes a difference. When I started working on my confidence, I realized that the voices around me were shaping how I saw myself. If you're always hearing doubt, fear, or criticism, you might start believing those things about yourself. But when you surround yourself with people who believe in growth, people who take chances, make mistakes, and keep going anyway, you start to feel that energy. That mindset, it rubs off on you. Even if you're learning alone, you can still choose the voices you listen to. Choose podcasts that lift you up. Watch videos that make you feel hopeful. Follow creators who remind you that progress matters more than perfection. Because every word you hear, every message you take in, can either build you up or break you down. Let me say this clearly. You deserve to be built up. So here's something simple you can do right now. Just pause for a moment and think, what can you do in English today that you couldn't do a year ago? Maybe a few months ago, you couldn't understand a story like this one. And now you're following along. That's growth. That's real. And it matters. Maybe you couldn't ask a question in English before, and now you can, even if it's just a short one. Maybe you were afraid to introduce yourself, and now you can say, "Hi, my name is," without thinking twice. That's not small. That's progress. You see, we often ignore how far we've come because we're so focused on how far we still want to go. But I want to remind you, it's not about reaching some perfect goal. It's about noticing the little victories along the way. That's where confidence starts. And that's how it grows. Confidence doesn't suddenly show up like magic. It doesn't just appear in your life with a big, dramatic entrance. No, it builds, quietly, slowly, consistently, day by day, word by word, step by step. Every time you try, even if your voice shakes a little, that's a step toward confidence. Every time you listen to English, even when it feels fast or difficult, that's another step. Every time you speak out loud, read a paragraph, or practice a new phrase, that's progress. And progress is something to be proud of. Sometimes people think they need to wait until they feel 100% ready before they act. I used to think that too. I thought, when I feel more confident, then I'll speak. But the truth is, confidence doesn't come before the action. It comes after. You speak, and then you realize, that wasn't so bad. You try, and then your mind says, I can do this again. It's in the doing that the fear loses its power, and confidence begins to take its place. That's why showing up matters, more than being perfect. You don't need to get it all right. You just need to keep going. Even 5 minutes of practice a day makes a difference. Read a sentence. Watch a short video. Talk to yourself while doing the dishes. These little actions, they build something big over time. They build belief. And belief in yourself is the heart of confidence. Sometimes I hear people say, but I still make so many mistakes. And I always say, good. That means you're trying. That means you're learning. The only people who don't make mistakes are the ones who don't try at all. Mistakes aren't the enemy of confidence. They're part of the path. When you make a mistake and you keep going anyway, that's confidence growing. When you say the wrong word and you laugh and try again, that's real strength. And when you stop apologizing for learning and start celebrating your effort, that's a powerful mindset shift. Let me tell you something important. Your voice matters. Yes, your voice. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's still learning, even if it's a little quiet, it matters because it's yours. So please don't hide it. Don't wait for permission. You don't need to be fluent to speak. You don't need to be advanced to start sharing your thoughts. You don't need a perfect accent to express your ideas. You just need the courage to try. And if you're listening to this now, I know you already have that courage. You've already taken the first step. And that's something to be proud of. Every day that you choose to learn instead of giving up, that's confidence. Every time you show up to practice, even when you're tired, that's confidence. Every time you listen, even when you don't understand everything, that's confidence. It's not a feeling, it's a choice, a habit, a way of thinking. So I encourage you from my heart, keep going, keep showing up, keep using your voice. Because every time you do, you're not only improving your English, you're becoming more confident, more clear, more powerful. Let your progress speak louder than your doubts. Let your effort outshine your fear. And let every word you say, no matter how small, be a sign that you are growing. And I want you to know that I'm here with you. Learning is not a race. It's a journey, one that's personal, one that's full of ups and downs, but one that's worth it. And I believe in your journey. Before I go, I want to ask you for something small but important. If this message helped you today, if it made you feel encouraged or understood, please consider subscribing to my channel, English Narrator. That way, you'll never miss a new story, a new voice, or a new step toward your confidence. Your support helps me continue sharing messages like this with more learners around the world. And it lets me know that these words matter to someone new. So hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join me on this journey of learning, growing, and becoming more confident together. Now, let me leave you with this one final thought. You are more capable than you think. The fact that you're here, listening, caring, and growing, that's already confidence in action. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be brave enough to begin. So keep going. Keep speaking. Keep learning. Your confidence is already growing, one word, one step, one day at a time.